On this episode of the Slices podcast, we have a special episode. One of the cast members of the new Amazon Prime show, The Resonator, Miskatonic You, we have actress Amanda Jones. Hey everybody, this is Jason Pelligra on the Slices podcast for a special episode. We're going to be doing all The Resonator, Miskatonic You, and joining me today is one of the actors from the show, Amanda Jones. How are you, Amanda?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Before we begin, I do want to tell everybody that February 26th, 2021, on Amazon Prime, you can see The Resonator, Miskatonic You, as well as Full Moon Features app. So you can download the app, and if you do it now, I think you get all the Puppet Masters for free. It's almost like paying for itself. So do yourself a favor. And they also have a really, really cool app, and I'm not paid to promote them. So, so anyways, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
And so let's get right into it. I had seen the first episode, and I really, really like it. We get shades of your character, but is it clear to say that we don't really uncover your full character in that first episode?
Definitely. I think the first episode really is just to highlight this friend group that kind of causes or gets himself into, problematic situations. But I really think it's like a brief overview of who everyone is, where they are, campus, Miskatonic University. And yeah, I don't think we really dive deep into anyone except Dane, who plays
Mhm.
Crawford. I think we don't really dive deep into anyone's specific storyline until later. So you just kind of get a snippet of Carrie Mitchell.
Awesome. So, unlike a movie, with a show like this, it's kind of interesting because you as an actor, you have no idea where it's gonna go. Am I
Oh,
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny, and I was telling Billy this. I've never really done. This is my first time really doing a sci-fi project, and so
Hmm.
a lot of the time, you just have to trust that, you know, Billy and Justin and everyone
Hmm.
knows has a vision because a lot of the time we were in this big studio. They had lights flashing, wind blowing, but we weren't looking at anything. They were
Yeah.
describing what was
Yeah.
happening, and we were reacting off what they were telling us. So okay, now this comes out, the machine's sparking, and we're just reacting to what they imagine the episode to be. So it's just a
Yeah.
matter of trust, which is so crazy, especially now to see it. I mean, I've seen clips, and it's so cool to see how it's turned out.
Yeah. It's like it's almost like acting class sometimes, right? With
Yeah,
imagine. And uh,
yeah,
this is one of your first projects? Is Am I
it
wrong?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've done a lot of commercial work, and I was just sort of starting to dip my toes in TV film. This project came along, and
Yeah.
I mean, even throughout the casting process, it was a very fluid experience. And once we got to set, day one of this project, maybe it's because it was a smaller crew and just a production, everyone was so cohesive. There was
Mhm.
such an amazing synergy. And the project just, I mean, you kind of just knew from day one, something great is going to come out of this because everyone cared so much
Yeah.
and was just really there to do it, be covered in slime, run with guns, and there's just
Yeah.
so much that was about to happen that everyone was like, okay, let's go, let's
Yeah,
do it.
and it looks fun. Like watching it, I was like, this looks like a fun project to be in,
So fun.
and a fun project to watch, a show to watch. So we're rooting for you. What? Okay, so let's talk about your character. How
Yeah,
about you give me a little bit of a synopsis of
yeah.
what she is to you?
So I think out of the group, Carrie is more of the introvert. She's highly intellectual. Since she was a little girl, she's been very prone towards the extra, not terrestrial, but just the outside world, spirits,
Mhm.
energy fields. So she's always been that girl at a party that's doing her own thing. So she carries around like all of her gadgets, her EDP. And yeah, she's very to herself, but she loves her friends very much.
Yeah.
She'll do anything to protect them. And I think like there's a lot to her that you're not seeing yet.
Hmm.
So yeah, you just kind of get a brief little bit of her. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot more that's coming.
So have you had any discussions with Billy William Butler, who's the writer and director of the Resonator, Miskatonic You? Have you had any long-term discussions with him about your character in the show?
Yes.
You
So
have.
I know, yeah, he's actually written the next few episodes, which we just got greenlit for episodes 3 and 4, which I'm so excited about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were all super excited. And so I kind of know like the direction he is gearing her towards.
Hmm.
It's gonna be so much fun. Like I had fun shooting the first 2 episodes, and now I'm like, okay, like this is. And I also think the storyline that she's taking, you're gonna see a lot more of her.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Are you familiar with H.P. Lovecraft at all, or was this
yeah.
your introduction?
I mean, this was definitely my introduction.
Yeah.
I know about H.P. Lovecraft. I know about From Beyond, but I've never really seen it before. And I didn't really want to before starting the project because I just wanted to have like my own, you know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes you watch something, you end up trying to mimic that. And I wanted it
Yeah.
to be like, you know,
Your own.
our own. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off.
I,
And you can just do what you have to do, right?
exactly.
Um, was there a time on set that was where you were like looking around and saying, "Wow, look at what I'm doing"? Was there a scene that was like just so much fun for you that you?
I mean, I honestly think like every day, like it's
Yeah.
just funny because, and I was saying this, like I can't wait to watch the first scene. I think it's the introductory scene, like when episode 1 starts, but it's all of us in the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like the least like imaginatory, like
Mm-hmm.
that was the least like creative scene, but we had just met like that day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like in
really?
person that day. So I'm excited to see like just 5 strangers come together and like do this. And then obviously as the episodes come, you can see that they've really formed bonds. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
so close. We hang out all the time, like outside of, you know, the show and everything.
Oh, that's great.
But I, like there was one day where we were up, I think it was like a 14-hour day, and like it was like 10:30, and Dane was covered in like blood and goo and slime, and like he'd been covered in goo and slime for like 6 hours. Like he was just walking around set like a bloody, like literally a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, Billy was helping me like figure out how to use the shotgun, like how I'm supposed to like pull back because it doesn't
Yeah.
actually shoot. About to fight a monster while shooting this like fake gun, and it was just like it was one of those things where I was like, wow, like life is so cool sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not it's so cool, you know.
All right. That's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Okay, well, so there I mean HP Lovecraft and even Full Moon Productions, they have very sexually charged themes a lot of times throughout the production, and your character wasted no time.
Oh,
Uh,
no time at all. No
yeah.
time at
So and let's face it, there's nudity in this film, and you are in this show, and you are the culprit. How were you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like when I was auditioning, like it was a huge part of her character. Like I
Yeah.
knew by accepting this role, like that's what I would have to do. And I think after I had like a private Zoom call with Billy, and I think first off, after just like understanding the story he wanted to create and just like understanding like what the show was supposed to be, like yes, there are these like very arousing elements. It's not what it's all about, but of course for a viewer, like how amazing is it to get both like gore and that sex appeal. But yeah, I mean, I think I was a little anxious coming into the day,
Hmm.
and once it came down to shooting, everyone was just so kind and
Yeah.
supportive. And some of the girls came over when I was filming that scene just to kind of be close. And
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, it's funny. Like, I think I thought so much about how it was going to be in my head, and then it came down to filming it, and it
Hmm.
was just fun. Like, why not? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, we're making something cool, so
Yeah.
we'll
So,
do it.
okay, here's a question for you.
Mhm.
You think it's more challenging to film a scene like that or to watch a scene like that?
to watch a scene like that.
To watch a scene like that.
For sure. Like, I am so excited for my family and my friends to see it, but I'm like, I want to see it first before you. Like, I
Yeah.
want to see it at the same time as you because I still haven't seen, you know, how that turned out.
Yeah.
And I know that it's gonna be great, and it was just a part of it all. But yeah, I think filming it really after it was over, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool, like high five, like we did it.
Yeah, but it's, and I have seen it, and it's artistically done. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's cliche to say that, but it actually is. It's artistically done. It fits with the mold of what the show is and what the show
exactly.
is going to evolve into. So
Mhm.
it's not necessarily out of place. But I've always been just curious, just to talk to someone like you mentioned your family about, and I always kind of wonder that, but I
Oh,
guess I'm not an actor, so I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I brought it up to my parents when I was casting for it, and they're like, you know what, like this is your job. Like if you look at it in a
Mhm.
professional lens,
Yeah.
it's really nothing. You know what I mean? It's just a day at work. Like you show up, you do what you're supposed to, and it's not like it came, you know, it wasn't a curveball. Like I knew that was happening.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was
that's yeah.
prepared for it. And this is like the first of hopefully many projects, and so I just think
Yeah.
I'm not about to do full nudity anytime soon, but it was just like it's something that I feel like as a person I kind of like grew from because it's something I've
Mhm.
never done before. It
Yeah.
was definitely out of my comfort zone, and yeah, I mean we'll see. When we were filming it, Billy had actually showed me clips of Madhouse, I think it was one of his old
Mhm.
films, and he was showing me just like how the montage was actually going to look, like how it was just brief
Yeah.
flashes, and so I was like, okay, like it won't be, it's tasteful, you know.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm not. I don't want to harp on that. So so if that's not in your comfort zone, is being covered in blood and goo in your comfort zone?
Definitely.
It is.
Yeah, it's so funny because Dave, he was the set designer. He was like the like Nickelodeon, like when you got slime, like he was
Hmm.
like a slime master from Nickelodeon. So first
Oh
off, I was
wow.
obsessed with slime as a kid, and I was like low key like fangirling. I'm like, by the way, like I loved like the whole like get slimed. I always wanted to get slimed, so I feel like I might be like this is kind of like living it out now. But it was more fun. Like it kind of made the whole experience just like really just like
Yeah.
fun. I mean, you just have to go for it. So yeah.
Yeah. While there is a lot of imagination involved, a lot of the other stuff, there is a lot of practical effects on set too,
Yes.
and makeup, and that must be fun, and it must
Yeah,
help too.
it does. I think it just puts you more in the mindset.
Mhm.
I wasn't one of the characters that really had to get like done up or
No.
anything in that sense. Like I had a little bit of goo from when I fought like one of the monsters, which you'll see.
Mhm.
But I think Christina, Dane, Hannah, who plays the female entity, like the three of them really got like the special effects, makeup and all that. And it was cool to watch like the process of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's all super cool.
You escaped it so far, but you
So far.
told this slime master on set that you can't wait and you love so you're in for
I know, I'm
for
just
some
waiting for a big green bucket to be poured
yeah.
over my
It's coming. It's coming. That's part of the fun of it too.
head.
Have you envisioned where you without the script, but where you intend to take this character?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, when you film like a first episode, second episode or something, you're still getting to know who this
Hmm.
person is. I still feel like there's so much that I don't really know. Like it was definitely like a very innocent version of Carrie.
Hmm.
Innocent. It was just a like I'm learning, and I
Yeah.
think the more episodes we make, the more I'll get to see like the kind of person she is. Like, is she good? Is she bad? What is her motive
Hmm.
overall? So yeah, I think it's a process and
Is that kind of tricky? Like I'm thinking, like you shoot a couple of episodes, and then down the road, your character maybe changes so much, and then you kind of look back at the first couple of episodes, and I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's not like you made a mistake, but you'd be like, ah, shoot, that doesn't kind of fit. Like, I mean, this hasn't happened, but is that something that is something that you could see happening?
I mean, I feel like, and what I've been trying to like do, like when I was working on it before, like I think as long as like my like overall, like my overarching like need or fear of is the same throughout. No matter what happens to her, she'll
Yeah.
still be that same version of Carrie, just going through different circumstances, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really worry about it not like paralleling
Yeah.
her initial self. I just think it's maybe she'll grow or
Yeah.
change in a better way or a worse way. You never know.
Well, I thought you were a scene stealer. Let's get
Oh,
that.
thank you.
Let's get that. Okay. I thought you were a scene stealer. I really enjoyed your character. I personally think that there's some darkness in your character that we're going to see. That, I mean, that's maybe just my prediction.
Yeah.
But I kind of have a feeling that you explained yourself as being studious and all that, but I have a feeling that we're gonna see different sides of you. And with H.P. Lovecraft, I mean, it could go any which direction, as well as with William Butler. Um, so what's more appealing to you, to play a more conservative good girl hero, or the bad girl?
I'm obviously open to either, but I think Bad Girl, just because it's so different from who I am on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So it actually is more fun because it's like, why not be this like crazy off-brand person? Because I mean, it's storytelling, like
Yeah.
why not try this new personality or this new character on and see what it's like?
Yeah, I mean that'd be my perspective on that too.
Yeah.
But it's everybody's different. Again, I mean, you start off in this pilot a little bit more subdued. By the end of it, you're like firing a shot. So there's a
Yeah,
lot that happens within 40 minutes of of screen time. So
for sure.
you've evolved already in this show, which is really
I
really
think so.
cool.
And personally, like I think like just the whole experience, like I just feel like I'm so ready for whatever is to come, like in my career, because I think
Mhm.
like I was able to tackle so many different themes by doing this show.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was a lot. It was 5 days of like hard work and a lot of fun.
yeah,
And I felt like so much stronger after we wrapped, and also nostalgic because I wanted to keep
yeah.
working. I was so bummed, but yeah, I'm excited to
But
get
you're
back.
gonna get to do it again.
Exactly.
And how cool is that set? It's a really good looking show, and that
Yeah.
set is really really gorgeous.
You can tell that they took a lot of time because again, a lot of the effects, some of it is practical
Mhm.
effects, like the monsters. They fully built these creatures, and then they add it, post as well. But
Yeah,
the resonator, like without any effects on it, it's a beautiful machine slash prop. Like
yeah,
we would just during lunch break, we'd be like, "Whoa, like this thing is so cool," and it's huge. Like you don't think that, but it's really big.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it looks like it's going to be a really fun show, and I just want to tell everybody again, it's on Amazon Prime, February 26th, as well as the Full Moon app. Um, and thank you so much for being
of
on the
course.
Slices podcast. And I wish you all the luck. I think it's gonna go. And when it does, we'll come back and do a full on interview.
Definitely, let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Amanda Jones. I'm Jason Pelligra from the Slices podcast. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.